I want to chat about something that I've been noticing in our training rooms. There's, the executive who arrives for the first session of a meeting of the minds. She's been moving really fast. Her calendar is dense and organized in 30-minute blocks. Her body looks really composed, her language is very precise, and she will tell you with conviction that she is fine. You, as the trainer, are watching her. You can see that something is wrong, but you cannot say what. Now let's look at her team 3 hours later. They are not arguing. They are not aligned. They are giving carefully worded versions of agreement that actually means very little. The conversation has the surface of collaboration, but none of its substance. This is what VUCA is doing to our clients. Not volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity as concepts on a slide. These are conditions accumulating over years that is operating on individual physiology and team collective intelligence. They've been navigating them with no recovery in between. I want to name what's actually happening. In 1889, there was a French philosopher, Henri Bergson, and he made a distinction that has not been improved on since. He said that we routinely confuse two very different things and call them both time. The first is clock time, measurable, divisible, every minute is equivalent to the other. The second he called duration. Duration is what we actually live. It's a continuous unfolding of experience, qualitatively different at every moment in time. A moment spent waiting for news is not the same as a minute that's spent in conversation with someone you love. The clock says they are. Experience says they are not. Bergson's claim was that modern life has been replacing duration with clock time, and that we are losing access to the kind of consciousness that duration makes possible. We are now further inside his diagnosis than he could have ever imagined. The executive in your training has been living in clock time for years. What has atrophied is not her productivity. It is her access to duration, the qualitative continuity of her own life. She cannot get it back by herself. And the conditions of her workplace are designed to prevent it. Something parallel is happening to her team. In VUCA conditions that are sustained over years, the shared interpretive ground, the felt sense among people in a room of what is actually happening starts to erode. We look at the same data, but we have different stories. We meet, but we're not really meeting. Not really. The individual has lost a sense of duration, and the team loses that experience of sense-making together. They're the same loss, but at two scales. This is what we've been training for years without always knowing what we are training. It's not techniques, it's not frameworks. It's the conditions inside with which individuals can return to duration and teams can return to a shared sense-making. This is the capacity to hold a room and what we hold a room into. It's a shift in posture from delivering content to creating conditions. From running a session to attending to a room. Here's what I want to leave you with. Before your next session, ask one question. What kind of time is this team living in, and what kind of time does the work actually require? If both have collapsed into clock time, you do not have a framework problem. You have a conditions problem. And the conditions you can change. You can change them by bringing duration into the room yourself and letting the room entrain. That is the work that's being asked of us right now.